12 years of promises and arguments. That's what the evening was about. 12 years of being Mr. and Mrs. Rowe had brought about triumphs, meals, silences, and mornings that were half coffee-filled and half regretful. And I foolishly believed that tonight would be a sort of silent victory. We had made it, perhaps not perfectly, but we had endured. That had to count for something. Clarissa had chosen the place. She said she wanted elegance. The restaurant sat like a diamond above the city. Windows curled to show the skyline, cinematic views making the anniversary unforgettable. She enjoyed being noticed in places like this, and the chandeliers above us sparkled like glass constellations. She always wore red, her statement color. She wore a shade of it the night we first met, but tonight it felt more like a warning flare than a callback. She laughed, too readily, toasted too soon. When she clinked her glass and exclaimed, 12, she leaned too close to my ear. The golden years, my darling. But her eyes and voice didn't match. The touch of her palm on mine, or the warmth of her wine. They were somewhere else. Coldly calculating, I dismissed the thought. Because as one learns in marriage, you edit your own intuition. You convince yourself not to overanalyze, to avoid spoiling a pleasant moment with family. Marlene, my sister, and Jared, her cousin. Mutual college pals, all grinning, eating, laughing in the bright light of well-spent money and practiced love. I wore the navy blue suit Clarissa sent me for Christmas. It was too tight. I hadn't realized I'd lost weight. Stress has a way of subtly erasing parts of you. Clarissa was glowing, crimson. When she spoke, her fingers danced. Her lipstick matched the wine in her glass, drawing attention like a conductor draws music from an orchestra. Everyone always looks at her. Halfway through the evening, I stood up, because it felt like I was watching a performance from which I had been excluded, a rushed excuse, something about the bathroom she hardly noticed. Just nodded and turned back to Jared. She laughed again, too loud. There was a jagged edge to it when he told a story that was too lively for my liking. I walked down the corridor to the restrooms, feeling like a spoon clinking wrong against porcelain. The hallway was dim. The bar, the wine cellar, a couple whispering in the shadows. Citrus and marble polish in the air. Everything in this place felt curated, except what happened next. I was reaching for the bathroom door when I heard it. "Excuse me, sir." I turned, maybe expecting someone lost a wallet or thought I was valet. But it was a young waitress. Her badge said Aisha. She looked anxious. "Are you Mr. Rowe?" she asked. I hesitated. "Yes," I said carefully. She looked around, leaned in. "I know this is strange, but I thought I saw your wife pour something into your cup." Silence. A full second passed. I assumed it was a joke, or some weird anniversary prank. She checked to make sure no one was watching, Aisha said. "But I saw her. I've seen her here before, usually with the same man." The corridor got colder. My mind went blank. Then flooded, incredulity, wrath, denial, disbelief, but none of it showed on my face. "Thank you," I said, calmly. Years of business meetings had taught me to keep my voice even. She looked relieved. "I can get someone," she said. "No," I replied. "It's okay. I've got it." I entered the bathroom, shut the stall, and gripped the cold metal walls as if they were the only thing holding the universe together. Clarissa. My wife. 12 years. And she had put something in my drink. I splashed cold water on my face until it stung. Looked in the mirror. My eyes looked calm. But for the first time I could see. When I returned to the table, I smiled. Sat down without confronting. Her. Clarissa turned. That practiced smile. Everything's fine, I said. Perfect. And I meant it, because I had a plan now. The hallway had smelled like a memory I couldn't place, some cheap citrus spray from our guest bathroom. Clarissa always sprayed it before company came over. Aisha had found me again before I made it all the way back. "Excuse me, sir, Mr. Rowe," she said again. This time I already knew what she would say. "I saw your wife put something in your drink." She trembled, but her voice held. She did it like she'd done it before. "Why are you telling me this?" I finally asked. Her reply: "I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight if I didn't." That clarity, that tremble, told me it was real. She wasn't lying. She wasn't protecting herself. She was protecting me. I said, "Thank you." And I meant it. Whatever it was that Clarissa slipped in, it dissolved quickly. Powder-like. Aisha offered help again. "No," I said. "Anything happens, I'll handle it." And then I returned to the table. My pulse was loud in my ears, but I moved. Slowly, Clarissa had chosen the restaurant. She had chosen the wine. She had chosen my suit, but she didn't choose what would happen next. Back under the warmth of chandeliers, I sat down. Everyone was still laughing. Clarissa smiled at me again. "Is everything all right?" a woman behind me asked. "Yes," I said. "Perfect." 2 wine glasses sat before me, one untouched, mine. One half-finished, hers. I switched them, practiced, smooth. The stems clinked faintly, but no one noticed. Clarissa was mid-story. Something about Rome, or Venice, Instagram memories. I smiled at her. She raised the glass that had been mine for 12 golden years. She drank. I watched. Nothing happened. Not immediately. She laughed, told another story. But 10 minutes in, her grip on the glass loosened. Her eyes blinked a beat slower. A twitch at the corner of her mouth. She pushed my wine glass toward me, drew hers back. Too late. Whatever she intended for me was now flowing through her. I had left the hospital shortly after midnight, and the parking lot was primarily I got into the driver's seat, as it was deserted and illuminated by orange streetlights, which made everything appear more delicate than it actually was. Took hold of the wheel once again and sat in the dark for a while. There was no music or talk radio in the automobile. What might motivate someone to take drugs for their own husband's hatred if it were only my breathing and the gentle tick of the cooling engine? Desperation, greed, and possibly more, but I wasn't finished yet.